Well, hello and welcome to Positively Positive. What a great show to welcome in 2024. I'm way ahead of myself. What a wonderful show we're going to have. And it's just amazing to be something so positive to start off a new year. I'm Susan Mintz. The show is called Positively Positive, and I'm Susan Mintz, your hostess. Everything on this show and everyone we interview, and it's not an interview show really, it's a storytelling show. And everyone we tell us that tells us their story or gives us their information will serve as a vehicle to be able to help others as they journey through HIV, AIDS, whether it is personal, whether it's organizational, whether it's my guest tonight. It's an amazing opportunity for people to come forth and be able to send us to the phone number on the screen or the email or the text Richard Jackson or Campbell Health or myself to send a link to a show that is absolutely helping so many, and it's just exciting. I love the word exciting and groundbreaking because it always is something that eventually kicks in and has to be done, because if there is a need, fill it. Positively Positive is a show that has a need, it's necessary, and it's very exciting. So if you are connected with HIV in any way, I want you to ask for a link to click on, and you can set up the day and the time and the calendar, and it'll be so easy. So that's how Positively Positive started. It's an idea that I wanted to tell people stories, how they were involved with HIV and AIDS. My story is on my website, susanmintz.com, or you can message me or text me or Facebook me. I was married to a bisexual man for 25 years whom I adored, Dr. Jeffrey A. Mintz, my best friend, passed from AIDS, and I documented my journey with him through 2+ years of it. And it's an incredible book, Committed to Love. And then the other book is called And I Held Her Hands with a Hospice Heart. 2 story books, 24 chapters each, Committed to Love, my journey. And I say, write your journey, write your documents, write your diaries, write. Writing saved my life. And here it is all these years later. I'm being able to present my book, Committed to Love, on my website, to Barnes & Noble or Amazon or on my Facebook page. Please write. And as I said, both books available Amazon. I prefer Barnes & Noble. I think there's an ebook. But SusanMintz.com is who your hostess is tonight. And I won't take any more time because we have an incredible guest that I want to bring on. So without much further ado, you know about Positively Positive, and you know about Susan Lee Mintz. And the show tonight involves someone very personal. He has been my dentist for only 40 years, and every smile and every tooth belongs to him. Dr. Donald Newman, and I'll fill you in more when he comes into the studio. So without further ado, Positively Positive and Susan Lee Mintz says, come on in, Dr. Donald Newman, DDS. Come into the studio. Hello, Dr. Donald, my dentist.
Hello, Susan.
I want to just tell people a few things about you also. Dr. Donald, I moved into a building and with Jeffrey, my late husband, and Dr. Donald was on this 3rd floor and I was on the 5th. And from the moment I met him, I think it was over a finger that got bad or something happened and he had to stitch me up. But he knew about my marriage with Jeffrey. He helped me afterwards, and he's been my only dentist in Boca Raton or in a couple other places who has done my dental work. He is an artisan, a craftsman from the old school of perfection. And I adore this man, and what a wonderful surprise to welcome my personal dentist to Positively Positive. How are you?
Susan, I'm doing very well. Thank you. And thank you for that introduction.
It's the truth. It's the truth. When I just heard you were going to be on, it was just so quick to get ready because this, oh, take the glasses off. Oh, glasses are just an intro. But I am so happy to see you sitting up this way than lying in your chair.
Yes.
Yes. So, what I wanted to talk about, which was so important, was oral health and HIV and AIDS, because you knew Jeffrey so well, and you were always there as a support. But just talk to our audience about the 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 what it's like to have oral health, how necessary it is under normal circumstances, but when someone has periodontal disease, is going through something that is medically related. Talk to me about oral health. Just talk.
I think I think every cell in the body, which includes the organs and the oral cavity, need to be in cooperation with each other. And the way they can cooperate, there are many modalities that promote cooperation, but one of them is hygiene. And the body is a healing machine. You know that, Susan. And if you cooperate with nature and you keep your body hygienic, then the body heals itself. We're in an interesting dynamic because being corporal, being alive, we have a natural rhythm of life and death. And so in this, we all have to go back to the earth from whence we came, and we need the bugs. The bugs do it. And so we not only have to cooperate with ourselves, Susan, we have to cooperate with all the parasites, all the bacteria, fungus, yeast, mold, viruses. We need them all, and that's my perspective. They're all my friends.
Yeah, and they all have to work in unison. And when we get our systems out of unison, that's when the bugs start coming into it to themselves, where we can't fight them off. Because
So,
you've always been natural. You've always, since I've known you, you've always been trying new things. As I remember how many times you said, "Try this or try that." You're an experimenter. You are someone who's an adventurer. You are always willing to try new health products, health related products. And I think that's wonderful because there are some really good ones out there now.
Susan, for reasons in the past 20 years that I failed to understand, I've journeyed into the arena of being a product analyst. I love to look at ingredients. I love to look at the products, and ultimately, I kind of have fine tuned a trio of of supplements, I guess you'd call them, which I think add to longevity and health and the joy of life. Now, it's interesting. I on this interview, which is just cold turkey for me, we're just talking. I didn't know that we'd be talking about AIDS or viruses or anything, but in my when I analyze something, I have to have a panoramic overview. And I'm going to surprise you, Susan. I got something that is so magnificently antiviral that it'll just set you up on your heels, and I'll show it to you. But I believe that with what I will tell you what my trio. No, I use I do a lot of herbal cooking.
Yeah.
And my water is hexagonal, and I educate my water according to Emoto's experiments of the 95s, and I energize it in accordance with, and I raise the frequency of it. I have all sorts of tools which raise my frequency, and I use them. But in this regard, all right, what I'd like to introduce you to, because I've never spoken to you about this, is a product and that is almost a hands down single best product I personally have ever used. Now, I started using it about 2 or 3 years ago, and I really didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know what it was. It's a compilation of 5 different essential oils, but it's not just a compilation of 5 different essential oils. Essential oils are not miscible in water, uh, but the way this company makes these essential oils, it dissolves in the water, making it more bioavailable.
Mm.
And so I started to play around with it after learning a little bit more about it. And it's not a product that's commercial. You have to go right to the manufacturer, which is Activation Products. And the name of the product is called Solaris. And let me just show you what it is. And by the way, I have no financial affiliation with this product, but I use it in dentistry, and I'll tell you how. Let me see if I can get this. Let me see. There it is.
But you are not, but you are a researcher, and you are always willing to find out what we can do to be the healthiest.
Absolutely. Of course.
That's what I've always loved about you also. I do want to get into the area of HIV and oral care, how important that is. But I want to say, though, that that's one of the things you would do. You will research and check something out, and you will complete it until you are satisfied that this product is probably really going to work well in the body.
I'm going to go full circle to HIV, Susan, because I know that's the theme of this. So with the Solaris, what I did as an experiment, I have some malpositioning in my lower teeth, and for all my years, I've had one bleeding point. All right, so I take a little bit of the Solaris, I put it on the bleeding point within a day. After 40 years of having the same bleeding point, stopped bleeding. Okay. Moreover, I have patients that come in terrible pain, and there's nothing I can do for them. What am I going to do? Give them an opioid of some kind, as something that's going to go systemically and make them dizzy and fall asleep, and they won't know who they are.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, 99% of the time, I put a drop of this Solaris over the painful area, and it goes away. Now, this product is so antiviral that if I had or knew of somebody who had HIV, I would, hands down, I would say, start taking this thing. And there are podcasts on this by a gentleman called Ian Clark. And there are some fascinating comments and testimonials. That's hands down. It's the best antiviral I know.
And it's not just something that you're marketing. You just believe
No,
in it.
no, I'm not marketing it. No.
You believe in it.
Yeah. I have no marketing interest in any product that I'll talk about.
And what is the name of the product? You have to go to the website for it?
It's Activation Products, but the name of the product is
We can put
Solaris. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is only because the theme of your show is HIV.
Right.
Right. I would step out, and of course, I've stepped out many times. If I'm wrong, okay, but it's my opinion that if somebody were to take 5 to 10 drops, put it in a glass, a little water, not a lot, like a shot glass or maybe 3 or 4 ounces, and drink it every day, I think it would subside any viral consideration in your body.
Wow. But
it's a wow.
Now, you've known me with Jeffrey when he was diagnosed, and you helped, and I had to brush his teeth and take care of him when he was so weak. But when it comes to HIV, why would it be even more important to have good oral hygiene, to floss, to use a water pick, to have regular maintenance, and to be aware that you might get thrush or you might have something? Why is it so important? Because of the immune system being compromised? And how important then is dental health for? Because I have on my website something called Total Health Begins with Oral Health. That's my motto.
Very nice.
Health begins with oral health. It's a whole web page on that on my site, and that's with the dental health department at Palm Beach County, where I purchase battery-operated toothbrushes for HIV-positive dental patients when they come in for their cleanings. they got a battery operated toothbrush. So tell me about why oral health would be so valuable with someone whose immune system is compromised in any way.
Susan, here's a reality check. For reasons that go beyond the scope of this show, I find that most people's immune systems are compromised. I think the lifespan, and we're under constant attack, whether it be from the chemtrails, the geoengineering, whether it be from the aluminum in the air, whether it be from the lacing of our foods at fast foods. I'm shocked. I see a lot of kids, and they have fast food for lunch. I don't even know where they get the money. $10, $12, they're buying lunch. I never did that, but that's another story. I think what's considered normal is when you look at your neighbor. People, in my opinion, the age span of the adult person should be between 120 and 150 years old, and that's with health. We're not, people say 120, I don't want to live to 120. We're talking about being healthy. We're talking about being active, sexually viable. We're talking about being able to see, enjoy food, company, sing, dance. We're talking about the full gamut of a life experience. And I think we are all being robbed. Our health is usurped by some great powers that really, and this may be a little controversial, they don't want you receiving Social Security. It's too expensive. Yeah. You become, unfortunately, what some people would call a useless eater. Yeah. These are pejoratives that are thrown at people over 60 years old.
Right.
And it's my contention that when you're 60 years old, you have enough life experience to add more to society than anybody else. But you need to be healthy, and most people are immune compromised.
So what would the ideal setup or protocol for someone who is HIV positive or has AIDS? What would be a protocol, and why? I just want to get to the nut of why oral health is so important when you have another issue going on in your body that is compromising you, whether even eating, why it's important to have your teeth to be able to chew properly and function properly. And if you can't digest it or chew it, you're not going to be healthy. So tell me the importance, though, of good oral hygiene, especially for that.
I think it's difficult to take one part of the body and separate it from the other. You know, we have in our health delivery system today, we have specialists. We have the dermatologists. We have the hepatic specialists. We have the cardiologists. It doesn't work that way. We're one big package. All right. So in regards to your question, it's the oral cavity is just, to me, just as important as keeping your gallbladder flushed and clean, and your kidney clean, and your heart functioning, and your coronary circulation clear of calcific deposits. Whatever it may be, you want a complete and total functioning system. The body will go to and assist the weakest link. Okay. In regards to the oral cavity, I can only tell you what I've gravitated as far as my protocol. I know that you go to a hygienist, they'll tell you brush and floss, la-di-da. Okay. I see people who brush and floss, and by the age of 40 or 50, they've lost their teeth. That's very nice. The issue isn't how you do it. Neanderthal men, if you ever look at their skulls, they didn't lose any teeth, they didn't have any periodontal disease, and they didn't brush and they didn't floss. I think we can brush and we can floss. You can do anything you want. I personally, sorry, but I always carry picks. Okay?
Oh, wonderful! Yeah,
I like to pick. Pardon me, Susan, but we're friends. You can only pick with a friend. I have.
They're wonderful. They're all over the house. and I've got all my friends
Yeah.
using them. They're the plastic picks. They're addicting because I'll
Oh,
sit there and I won't even realize what I'm doing. But I think that's why
oh yeah.
they're so
Susan,
healthy.
you ever have a pebble in your shoe?
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing when you go to the movies and eat popcorn and you got a popcorn kernel in between your teeth. All right? You can't enjoy the movie. I've been known to go 20 miles to a movie theater and return to my house to get a pick.
Keep it in your car. Keep one on
Oh,
you.
I keep them everywhere. Yeah,
And
everywhere. I love picks.
I suggest, I mean, with the health of HIV, I just know that as someone gets more advanced into AIDS and they're weakening, it's very hard then for them to brush, which is why I've always suggested the battery operated toothbrushes, even for those who are infirmed and their hands, they have arthritis or they lost certain, the battery operated toothbrushes are just wonderful. But
Oh,
you,
Susan, allow me to tell you, in the final, I've brushed with everything under the sun. Ultimately, I've come down to only a few considerations. I like to brush with black activated charcoal. It's a powder. The reason is one. I don't. By the way, I only put things in my mouth that I can eat. The mouth is meant to ingest food. I don't put chemicals in my mouth that I have to spit out. That's rule one. Okay. And so, with the black activated charcoal is very good for your GI. And the reason why it's good for your GI is the same reason why it's good for your oral cavity. It adsorbs it like Velcro any particulate matter in the oral cavity. Now, one of the issues with the black activated charcoal, well, it also bleaches your teeth, by the way.
really?
Yes,
Oh,
really.
that's for me.
Yeah. And almost and it's cheap. This is why they don't promote it.
Where do you get it?
You can get it online. If you want a product name, I can give you a product name which I use. It's called My Magic Mud. My Magic Mud. But
Yeah, you've been into that other stuff though with the mud black charcoal.
yeah, oh yeah, mud's great. Love mud. Mud's great.
So you would suggest if somebody in general though, but if they did have a issue with their mouth, periodontal disease, or you recommend that the black.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's just what I do. I think everyone has to find something that works for them. Given if somebody was handicapped, I'd have to give them a different regimen because the black activated charcoal can get a little messy. So because it's messy, because it clings onto your teeth, I then take an oral irrigator and I irrigate my mouth and I get all that dust and all that black stuff off. All right. I've used electric toothbrushes. They're fine for people who need them. I don't think it's a panacea.
No.
But if your hands have weakened for different reasons, carpal tunnel, arthritis, whatever, you need some help. So we have aids and things like that. I personally don't use an electric toothbrush. I use an ultra soft toothbrush. I apply the activated charcoal. I leave it on there. Sometimes I even swallow it. And then I go with my oral irrigation machine. I irrigate it out. And then I do something, Susan, and I do it every day. And I go and I use the Solaris. I put about 3 or 4 drops in my mouth and I leave it there and I swoosh it around when I take my shower. And then I swallow it. All right. When you do that, it's a spontaneous revelation that something very good is happening. All right. It's that feeling. It's that automatic knowing that we have. And that's what, and again, I don't mean to push the Solaris, but so they don't have that many bottles. It's not meant for it's not meant to go on Walgreens shelf. It's meant for special considerations.
Do you, if someone is HIV positive or they, are actively symptomatic, have you ever seen any patients that are HIV positive and had them in your practice?
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
Of
And
course.
and I don't want to be controversial, Susan, because you know I have the potential of being controversial.
Oh, look at this show. Look at
I am, I am, I was a dentist in the 80s when we had that big kerfuffle with the HIV and the dentists and the gloves and the nonsense. Uh, Everything is for mass consumption. For me, I wear gloves, I wear a mask, and I wear eyeglasses, but I don't, I'm not, I treat HIV patients like I treat every other patient. I'm not more or less concerned. They think I'm going to be. They're very happy when I treat them, you know, right? Because it's just my natural presentation. I don't do anything extra or leave anything out. I don't get 5 or 10 feet behind them. You know, it's not a very large issue to me, but I do want to make sure that they're taken care of like I take care of everybody.
I remember one time when we were at the pool, because again, I lived on the 5th floor. I met you in '87 when we moved in. Jeffrey and I moved into the building, and then we would talk at the pool, you and I, a lot. And you were always into everything. I mean, you were probably the smartest person I'd ever met, and I really mean that now. Your mind is just so full of information that it's overwhelming to someone like me, because you really are smart. He is really smart. But I do know that there was one time when I said to you, I think it's because I was having an affair or something happened after Jeff died. And I remember saying to you, can you get HIV if you have periodontal disease? Or if you think you can get HIV if your gums are bad, or if you really have poor hygiene, can the HIV get in there through the gum disease? And I don't remember what you said. So talk to me about HIV being entering into the oral cavity if someone's mouth is not in good health.
The answer to the question is I don't know. However, I think on all levels, I think you should be careful. I don't think it's wise to. I don't think it's wise to act in an imprudent fashion with anybody who has any illness of any kind. You have to protect yourself. I need to tell you, I have almost no fear of disease because my immune system is at its peak. Anything wrong with my body, any parasites, any fungus, yeast, mold, bacteria, viruses are flushed out on a daily basis. I keep my vitamin D levels very high, which is an important aspect. I take some I take very high measure of antioxidants, a whole slew of herbal supplements. No, I'm just not. I think again, my I make all living things my friends. I think I just don't have an argument with mosquitoes. I don't have an argument with viruses. I don't. I can't speak for other people. I think other people will have all sorts of issues because their overall health quotient is lower than what's required to maintain good health. Yes. In regards to the oral cavity, it's just another part. It needs to cooperate with the rest of the body. And also there's an emotional quotient. When you have, you know, it's a story that I don't tell too often, but I was a caretaker for my mother until she passed. And I would find that maybe when she was still walking, I would find her up at 2:00 in the morning, going to the cupboard to get some potato chips. Now she had lost most of her teeth. And so I would say, Mom, why are you eating potato chips at 2:00 in the morning? And she was loquacious, but at this point she was
Yeah.
she didn't speak too much.
Right.
She said, crunch. I need crunch.
Uh,
So and I would make an extension
yeah.
that if you can chew your food because of the crunch. By the way, I just want to disagree. You said you need teeth to eat. That's not true. I find people can gum their food as well as people with teeth. And if there's another factor where they say they can't, they can have their soup and put their chicken in their soup, all right, and put it in a blender. I mean,
Right.
that takes a lot of the work away from the digestive enzymes, which
Yeah.
actually enables you to live longer. Um,
That that's what I was wondering is because that's what I did. We did so much carrot juice. You know, I always recommend juicing because it doesn't matter what your situation, whether you have teeth. I remember I had just lost my first tooth, what, a year and a half ago. It was like a child. Honestly, I was a mess. I'd never lost it. And I'm not getting an implant, but it was horrible. So I just learned I can't eat a lot of crunchy things because it does irritate the area, but it's healed and it's fine. But that's another thing with Jeffrey, and I would recommend to other people. The HIV doesn't matter, but the blender is the best friend of your crock pot. Is that you can put everything in a Nutribullet, and you can put all your stuff like making baby food. I used to make Jeffrey's carrot soup, carrot juice, all that other, and there was a time he couldn't chew, but he was able to drink. And I think
Absolutely, sure.
you get it, and also you're getting everything so fresh, whether it's bananas or blueberries, strawberries.
I, I
Everything.
want I want to just comment. The girls in the office, they all laugh at me because I bring in baby food. All right,
Yeah,
I take it for a quick snack. It's a good hit. I know I buy it organic. I know it's clean. I know it's easy to digest. I don't want a full meal. Boom, I take
yeah,
it.
and making it, and today, I mean, you and I are about the same age. I always ask you, but I knew I met you in '87, and you're still here, so you're not 25. I always ask you how old you are, but you've been practicing for how many years?
Went to school. Started school in '74. Graduated in '78. 3 years in the military as a military dentist. Came down to Florida in 1981. All
Um,
right. Enjoyed some sun and fun until 1986 when I opened up in Boca,
yeah,
and continued for 27 years until I sold my practice.
yeah,
Following the sale of my practice, I went into a bit of a cycle, which was unusual, and it's not relevant to this presentation. But we all go through ups and downs. Believe me, life is it's not a bowl of cherries at times. And so I found an interesting. I had difficulty, even though I was at the peak of my game. You'd be surprised. I'm sure many people have gotten this. If you have two people in for an interview and one person is 27, 28 years old and the other is 69, 70, they don't want they don't want to hire you. And so I had trouble finding a position in order to pay the bills. So I found a position in West Palm Beach. It was a very difficult position where it's a Medicaid office. I see private patients as well, but it's a Medicaid office. We, instead of seeing like a regular dentist, 5, 6 patients a day, we see more like 25, 35.
wow,
And every patient gets 15 minutes. And Susan, I treat the trick, and I had to learn how to do this. The trick is to speak to a patient for a minute. You treatment plan them in another minute, get a social history in the third minute, and give them a treatment plan in the fourth visit, and then have a little friendly conversation in the fifth minute. That's it. And what happens when you need to do that is you also need an additional quality. All right. And it comes with the territory. You don't get it right away. You have to feel the resonance or the frequency of the room, and your intuition will tell you where to take this patient. You need to feel the patient through
right,
the air.
right.
And when you see 30 patients a day, and here's the trick. When I spend 15 minutes with a patient, they think I've spent an hour.
You're so thorough. You're meticulous.
Well, yeah. And I had to learn also the art of listening. Patients love to talk. You have to listen to them. And I'll also tell you that many times patients know better than I do. And sometimes you ever go to a doctor, you say, doctor, I have a pain over here. He says, no, you don't. Your pain is over here. You say, no, doctor, please listen to me. My pain is over here. But patients are very smart. They know their bodies quite well.
Yeah.
And so you have to train yourself to get that ego off your shoulder and just listen to the patients.
Yeah, and I think that's very important, especially again, if you're treating someone who already is compromised and they know they have issues, whether it's oral health or they already know what might be going on, where then you, in the limited time that you have now, but would previously be able to go into what you feel they need, because you're very much into what is the need and assessing the need of my patient in where they are, whether they're 20, 40, 60. Needs change.
You're
If
absolutely correct.
if I lost a tooth at 25, of course I would have an implant or something done. But at my age, at 77, I'm okay. And if I have to lose another one, as long as I can maintain. But let's go back to the juicing, because you were big into juicing for a while also. But I think many people, whether they're HIV positive, whether they have bad, juicing is so wonderful because you can put all of that in a blender. You can make soups. You can do so much to bring the good, healthy stuff in. The oral health is wonderful to keep your mouth as clean, but it's also got to be able to be neutral, be able to have the stomach work it, the small intestine, everything has to still work in tangent. So it's not just taking one part of the body.
No, everything has to cooperate. Uh, I think a good rule of thumb when you look at food, you can ask yourself a couple of questions. Does this look like something my grandmother would have prepared? Okay. Number two, did this come from the ground? Does it look like food? And and I see things. It's unfortunate. The population today, because I see again a lot of kids, and they just, there's something else I wanted to comment about food. All right. And this is something that's amazing. I don't know why I know this. I don't know, but other dentists, other people don't know this. And I can't bring this to the attention of the parents either, because it would break their hearts. They don't know.
No.
We have a maturation process.
Checking my clock here. Yeah.
We have a maturation process. In this process, we turn in, we get older, our bones grow larger, but in particular, because I have the ability of taking a Panorex and looking at the eruption of wisdom teeth, I can get a pretty good idea of where the patient is. Now, I don't want to get too complicated here, but wisdom teeth usually come in around 20 or 21. All right. I saw a kid the other day, his wisdom teeth, he was about 12 years old. His wisdom teeth were coming in. Now, allow me to explain what has happened. Just by looking at that, I know his diet, because his mother is feeding him growth food with growth hormones, the growth hormones that were fed to the chickens or the meat or whatever to make them grow faster. Now, every year that the wisdom tooth comes in prematurely, your lifespan is shortened by 7 years. I want to repeat that again. Every year that wisdom tooth comes in prematurely, your life is shortened by 7 years. All right, and that's from that you've expedited your maturation. It's sad, and yet I'll see Haitians come in, and their wisdom teeth are coming in at 21 and 22. That's because their diets are more natural.
Oh,
Yeah, the diets of the Haitians are pretty good. Yeah, yeah, and I can tell their diets, and so I play oracle. I go, I am an oracle. I'm now going to tell you your diet. All right, they think I'm kidding, but I'm really not kidding.
no, you're not.
Your mother feeds you fruits and vegetables and lots of things that come from the earth, and she cooks at home, and you don't eat fast foods. Dr. Newman, how did you know that? Your mother cooks with herbs. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's and basically, I forensically look at I look at the patient, I look at their body language, I look at the radiographs, and all of a sudden, within, you know, maybe it's because I've been doing it a long time. Maybe I've become a little intuitive, but I can get maybe 50% of a social history in a minute.
Yeah, you can read people once everyone. You can read.
Once and it's my job. It's my job because I don't want to I want to attend to their needs, but I only have 15 minutes. I got to do this in 15 minutes. And so I've gotten pretty fast and pretty good at it. Yeah.
So getting back again to oral health, as important as oral health is, to me, oral health, I say, is important for total health. Because if you're really not getting the foods naturally, or you're not being able to gum, there's people without teeth who gum their food, or they juice their food, or blend their food. They're very healthy, because I firmly believe it's also what you eat, not so much whether there's the bacteria there or whether you're HIV positive. It just so happens that I think that's important, that you need good oral hygiene, cleanings, this, that, but so much of it is still what you eat.
I would modify that a little bit, Susan. It's not necessarily what you eat; it's what you absorb.
Right.
A lot of people, they eat very well, but they don't absorb because of leaky gut, and they don't have the proper microbiome in their
Right.
intestines. I make my own yogurt. I use something called Lactobacillus reuteri. All right, I make my yogurt, and it lasts me for a week, and um, and that's about as good a gut bacteria as you can get. Lactobacillus reuteri.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
have one got every lactobacillus in the world. Now, you also would encourage people to get tested, and you would still encourage people to take the best care of themselves that they possibly can, because
And I think it's important, and this is difficult, but you have to be your own health advocate.
very much.
Nobody knows your body as well as you do,
No.
and um, and unfortunately, most of us who present themselves like me are self-taught. They don't teach you what I know. They don't, you know. And it was just my life gave me these experiences, and then you gravitate towards a path so that you can live and enjoy and have adventures. Most of my friends, they're maybe 25-30% of them are not with me anymore. Another 50% of them, wheelchairs, canes. Uh, there is very little that I can't do that I could do when I was 35.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, I and and also there's a spiritual component to it. I don't want to dismiss that.
Yes.
The gratitude and
Yeah.
and the love frequency. I do a lot of frequency medicine,
Yeah.
and I listen to 528 hertz every day. Uh, and I have my somogenics, uh, my tone, what are they called? Well, I don't know what they're called, but they're little tongs, and you press the tongs, and you get all these different cosmic tones, which resonate with each chakra, keeping everything coordinated, and of course the mental health of the smile. I'm not sure if anyone has ever written a book on this, but I'm sure it's true that people who smile are healthier.
Oh, I'm a witness, Dr. Donald. You got me right there. You know, I've always been faith-based, very spiritual, believing that there's a plan and God's in charge. You know me well enough to know after 40 years That's where I'm coming from. You have to have mental health, but spiritual health, to me, also is an extremely big component of everything.
Yeah, very important. I just wanted to tell a silly story
None
that
of your stories are silly. I've listened to so many. I love them.
I think I think there's a there's a competition between the ego and the soul. And I do. And this is how I've narrowed it down. And you tell yourself a narrative, and the ego confirms it, you know, and then you live a life, and you kind of have this narrative which is a lie. But you say I'm a good person because I do this, and the ego says yes, you're a good person. But the soul is in a different place, and
Mm.
the soul is your true contracted path. This is your passion over here. Um, and and anything, the world, for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe it's just the gauntlets that each human has to go through. I don't understand the whole picture, but there are so many considerations that try to take you off your contracted soul mission.
Right.
And um, um, so I was listening to somebody the other day because we spoke about implants, and the person said that anything you put into your body, all right, has the ability to change that soul contract or to alter you from your divine passion, your path. And I thought to myself, that's interesting. That's an interesting consideration. And then she said that dental implants, do not put in dental implants. You have to weigh the balances. That's good and bad with dental implants. I like dental implants myself, but there is something which has to be measured. And I think you measured it correctly. There's a time to put dental implants in, and there's a time to say, no, thank you. Just because you're missing a space doesn't mean you need to restore form and function. Leave it alone. But the thing about what this person said was that you have a certain frequency, and you're communicating with cosmic tones, and when you put the metal implants in, it changes the frequencies a little bit. In fact, there are some people who have dental implants who say they hear radio stations, and I believe them. And then there was another interesting thing they said, which is not pertinent to this conversation, but it kind of makes even a little bit more sense. You know, in my opinion, from what I've learned, before you're born, you choose your parents, you choose your body, this, that, and given the parameters of your physical appearance, you then have your journey in a certain path. But if you change by way of an implant, whether it be a butt implant or any kind of or a breast implant, you will then attract somebody outside of your natural path. So I have to say that you have to be very careful with how you attend to your physical body. And I think the best way to coordinate with your soul contract is to be healthy. You're a healing machine. Align yourself with your soul contract, your healing possibilities, and create and build your immune system to its highest level.
That's what I wanted to get
Get
at.
rid of all the parasites that you don't need. Get rid of. By the way, I think the number is we have 10 trillion viruses in our body. So the question becomes,
Which one's going to get us?
no, Susan, please allow me. I told you the viruses are my friends. Right? Who's controlling who? Are the viruses controlling us because there's more viral DNA in our body than human DNA, or are we controlling the viruses? In any event, it's a moot question because I just want to cooperate. I think every virus has the potential of upgrading our DNA. All right? I want to repeat that again. And so if there must be viruses which are potentially injurious to our overall health, let's find a pathway to be at peace with them. And allow me to just expand this just one bit. there is not one aspect of nature which I'm going to be at war. All right. When somebody tells me that I'm at war with this fungus or this yeast or this mold or this virus, do you know what I do? I turn off the channel. I'm not at war with anything that's part of creation.
Mm.
That's,
One last question. Do
yeah.
you think there will be a cure eventually for AIDS? Just personal opinion. And then
My personal opinion is I think autoimmune disease comes because of a depressed immune system, and I think for better or for worse, as long as humans keep eating poorly, as long as humans don't understand that they need to be at peace, they need to cooperate with everybody, as long as humans don't understand that we're all part of the same collective, as long I think I don't think it's no, I don't.
and do you think that there will be a vaccine though? Not we have great meds now to keep people undetectable, not transmissible. But do you think there will be a vaccine like there was for COVID and flu and other issues?
No. I don't. I don't think. No, I think the body is the perfect healing machine. Work within the parameters of nature. Anything made by man, I don't want. I don't want it.
You're so good. I'm so happy you're my dentist. I wouldn't want anybody else doing my dental work. And every time I smile, I think about how, my age. And then you'd say, Susan, you got old teeth. They're my age.
Why
But
not?
I take good care of them. But I really believe that health is all for the body, also the mind, the spirit. I think you have to work not with one part of the body. I think you have to try to be at peace with every part of your body.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Absolutely. Yeah. From the I don't, and again, there's a very strong spiritual component to all this. And I'm not an ecumenical scholar, but I do know that I give I give thanks. It's like a wheel that you can't get off. Every time something happens, I give thanks to my car when it starts in the morning.
Oh, amen.
I
I tap mine and said, "Good car,
Yeah,
good. Mommy loves you."
absolutely. And
Thank you.
I had a cognitive thought the other day, which is just something that when we say good girl to the car is inanimate. And yet I propose that everything on our planet is alive. The only thing that's different is its frequency. So we're at one frequency. The car is at a very low density, low frequency, and so it doesn't talk back. But but we talk. Sailors talk to the ships. Race car drivers talk to their cars. I talk to the walls in my apartment.
Oh, I talked to the bathroom. Make sure the plumbing. I said, because got people who know me really know my faith. Oh, we're going to get ready to wrap up shortly. I just said, people who know me know that I'll pray everywhere, but my biggest prayer place is in the bathroom. Dear Lord, please let today work out and come out well and flush. But I want to thank my personal dentist for 40 years for taking such good care of me and for all the dental work he's done over the hundreds and hundreds of patients he's seen. He is a true artisan and a craftsman, and he's very smart. So
Susan, before we go, can I do one thing?
Yes.
I'm wearing this hat for a particular reason. All right. It hydrogenates or it forms hexagonal water throughout your body, so it bathes your DNA. But I just wanted everyone to know that I really have hair.
Of course you have hair.
Well, I've been wearing a hat,
But when you look very, very baseballish,
Yeah,
look very what's rap oriented. But I thank Dr. Donald Newman for being my guest and for just being so informative and creative and real. He's so real, and He's just the greatest dentist I could ever have asked God to have brought me into my life. So thank you, Dr. Donald, for a wonderful interview tonight. And I tell stories. This is what I do. I tell stories. You've been a story in my life for decades,
Well, thank you, Susan.
and you've been an amazing friend.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I think we're going to be wrapping up, and I just can't just say enough. It's just like you and I could converse for hours. We always have. So this has been Positively Positive with Susan Mintz and her guest, Dr. Donald Newman. And together, we are in the fight to end HIV and AIDS. And we work together to do it. Thank you.